don't worry.
No problem.
I will share your gift. Don't worry,
I
I will share
got
your
it
gift
too.
with
I
you.
got it too. I'm the first one to even
Oh,
send my own. I
No
got it
problem.
too.
No one is arguing with anyone. We're going to share the gift and get the gift together.
so you
Better.
gift. Don't worry, you won't get the gift. So can you imagine the anxiety that will be in class if you do things like this in class? Your students will love it. They will enjoy it. They will always want to come to your class.
Mm.
And that's to take us straight to what I want us to look at today. Please, can you see my screen? Can you
No.
see my screen now?
Yes, I can see.
Okay.
You
Yes,
can see my
yes.
screen.
Yeah, I can see
Okay,
your
thank
screen.
you. Okay, good. Thank you. What is blended learning? COVID-19 has done something important to us, something great to us. Because before COVID-19, only few people could relate to using computer in class. Only few people. Fortunately, where I teach, we started looking at Google Classroom few months before COVID-19. I'm still wondering what gave the principal the idea of that Google Classroom. Because immediately COVID-19 came in and we need to sit down in our homes and education was go on. Now we have to look at way forward. How do we teach our students that they are in their different homes? How do we communicate? How do we know? How do we pass on the education to them? Now, COVID-19 has ended and we need to move forward. Are we going to leave everything that we have done using computer, using laptop, using tab, using phone, the experience we have gotten, are we going to leave it and just say it never existed? No, we are moving forward. And that is why this topic, teachers, educators need to know, need to see way forward about how to go, where to go from here. Now, learning has to do with, some people call it hybrid learning, the mixture of normal classroom learning and online learning. Online learning in terms of using internet to teach, using your computer, your gadgets, technology to teach in class, while being supervised under normal mock and block setting. I mean the school setting. So that is in layman language or layman saying about blended learning. Now, blended learning combines the best of in-person classroom teaching with online technology to personalize instruction. Every child has his own way of learning, and that is why we are blending everything together so that everybody learns at their own pace, using different apps, using different technology, and so at the end of the day, we are on the same page with everyone. So if you look at the GIF I have here, teachers use data classroom technology to personalize instruction. Students have some control over their learning, the way they learn, how, where, and when anytime they want to learn, they have control over it. And that is why we have some apps that they do student space, they do teacher space because they want students to learn at their own pace. So blended learning combines of the best of in-person classroom teaching and online learning. That is what blended learning is all about. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, thank you. We can hear you.
Thank you. Blended learning is not the same as technology-rich instruction. It's not just using laptop. How well do you use the laptop? How will they use the gadget? It goes beyond one-to-one computers and high-tech gadgets. Blended learning involves leveraging the internet to afford each student a more personalized learning experience. Now, some people have been saying it's a little bit expensive, but we watch films on our laptop, we play games. We can use this data to improve the lives of our students, including, they afford students a more personalized learning experience, including increased student control over the time, place, path, or even pace of learning. Like I said earlier, that we have apps that that use as student space that can also be used as instructor space. For those apps that are student-based, students learn at their own pace from one step to another. You don't rush them. And we also understand that we have high flyer students, students that have high ability to get things easily. And we also have low ability students, students that you need to push, you need to bring pictures, you need to bring a lot of techniques to help them learn. This is what we really look at. This is what we really need to look at. Blended learning is personalized. Teachers work one-on-one with students to address individual needs, skills, and interests of each learner. Everybody has his own way of learning. You cannot say the way A will learn is the same thing B will learn. Bearing in mind that you as a teacher, you need to consider learner A and also consider learner B. This is why we said blended learning is personalized. Now, we have gone beyond just staying in front of the class and dishing out instructions. Now, everybody must learn at their own pace, bearing in mind that the curriculum must be, the curriculum must go around. They must understand the curriculum, but they must do it at their own time. Blended learning is data driven. Yes, you need data, data as information to help your students. Teachers use classroom technology and data to better understand each student's individual learning level. Majority of these apps that we use to deliver classes, there's a way they rate the students. And this is what you need to know to see if a child has moved from point A to point B. Now, everybody uses data in form of Google Sheets, you do class starts today, you do another class work tomorrow. You need to see what your students are doing. Have they moved from where they were? Are they still on the same level? And that is what we even do using CA. For example, when I teach and I do class work in school, I always make sure that I look at how my students are improving. Okay, this last class, this is what you got. This one, this is what you got. Okay, is there any improvement? Are they going backward? My spreadsheet is very, very long. I record everything, and with that, I use that to see their progress. So we can use this technology and data to better understand each student's individual learning level and help guide content and activities that challenge them at the appropriate pace. Blended learning encourages student ownership. Students are empowered and responsible for doing the thinking in the classroom and own the process of learning. Now, they need to do their thinking themselves. We don't think for them. I teach chemistry. When I was in secondary school myself, the way we're being taught, we have to visit the teacher. Teacher will be telling us everything. But these days, students are the one working because, like I've always told them, I'm not going to write your wife for you. I'm not going to write your IGCSE for you. You are going to write it. And it is what you know, what you retain from me is what you are going to use, that's what you're going to write down. So they are the ones doing the working, doing the application. My work is just to give them instructions. Okay, this is how it's being done. Then apply it in your own way. For example, calculation questions. If we teach different methods, I expect that if learner A is using one method, learner B can use another method, and we are all getting the same answer. This is what we are talking about. That is how they understand it. It's not that this is my method and all of you must use this method. No. Let everybody use the method that is convenient, that they understand, and there won't be problem. And we know that the answer is 10, and all of us are getting 10. So whether you take root ABC to get to 10, or you take root GXE to get to 10, we are all getting to 10. Blended learning has 3 components. First, blended learning is a formal education program in which a student learns at least in part through online learning with some elements of student control, whether time, place, task, or pace. I've explained that before. Students learn through that way. Another part of the definition is that the student learn at least in part of a supervised brick and mortar location. They are supervised in a school. It's not home. The one we did during COVID-19 was they were home. But now we are in school. We are using those technologies in school. The third part of the definition is that the modalities along each student learning path are connected to provide an integrated learning experience. I've explained that too. Everything, your curriculum must be integrated into your student experience, into your student learning. You don't teach outside the box. You must consider a lot of things and make sure that the students are getting what you are teaching them. Blended learning combines the best of classroom teaching with online learning. Teachers use data to personalize instruction. Students have ownership of their learning. These are tips that can help us in blended learning. One, you need to redefine your role in class. You cannot just stand in front of the class and say you are the alpha and omega of the class, that you have full control. Fine, as long as you have full control, you still need the students to be flexible. You yourself, you have to be flexible. Then you have to be familiar with the curriculum. You don't teach outside the curriculum. For those of us that teach IGCSE, we teach NECO, we teach WAEC, you have to come to a conclusion and see, okay, this syllabus are interwoven. Okay, this one is beside this one. You have to blend everything together and deliver it. It will even give students broader knowledge of what they are looking out for. So you must be familiar with your curriculum. Few weeks ago or months ago, I had a junior colleague, and I told him that it is not what we're taught in the university. He's a young graduate. It's not what we're taught in university that we teach in chemistry at all. That's not what we teach. We need to sit down and look at the curriculum. Then look at the way that we can deliver it. Then our goals. What's the goal for a particular class? What's the objective for a particular topic? What are you expecting? You must know your goals. You must know the objective, and you must know the outcome. Then you must experiment with teaching techniques. We have a lot of teaching techniques. Experiment, explore. Don't limit yourself. They add the element of fun. Now, very soon I'll be showing you some apps that you can use to engage students. The first one we did was Book Widget. Book Widget is an app, a powerful app that you can use to engage your students very well. It's not just you teaching, let them do the work for themselves. Like I said earlier, just imagine, for those of you that teach biology, for example, Scatter Amoeba. I know Amoeba is a major aspect of biology. Scatter the picture of Amoeba and tell students to fix it up. Tell me the students will sleep, they will not sleep. They will sit down, they will be ready to work, because sitting down will even make their brain sit down or sleep. So when they are active, you will know that these students are learning. So you can add elements of fun. Like in my own class, in my own school, they know that I like games. And that is why it's very easy for me to create things easily. I will just look at the concept I want to deliver. Okay, what can I use? And I will deliver it. I will use apps to deliver it. So it's just easy for me. I just saw this app and I said, okay, let me do this for educators. Let's see how they're going to go about it. And I'm sure in our next training, you're going to see more apps to use to engage your students and measure the impact. I said before that personally, I have Google Sheets, like an Excel sheet that I record my scores. You need to know what level did you meet these students? What level are they now? What level do you desire to take them? Personally, when I get to a particular class, I set goals for myself, for the students as well. Where do you want us to go? What do you want? What grade do you want to have? Not a grade that is not okay. Comfortable grade that you can defend. So you have to say and work towards the goal. So that's why I say you have to measure the impact. Then this blended learning, especially most of the apps that we are using, it is connected to their parents. Parents who need to know what is going on with their child. They need to know, are they improving? Are they going backward? For example, in my school, we have Google Classroom. We have the Google Soup, the GSoup. For each child, every time they score them in class, the parents get emailed. They get notified about what the child has gotten. That is what we are saying. Let the parents be involved. We can't do it alone. We need them too. Then we have blended learning models that we can use to deliver our classes. Different models. We'll just look briefly into it before I end the presentation. What's the role of a teacher in a blended learning environment? It has moved from just a teacher, from knowledge provider, to coach, instructor, and a mentor. We're a coach, we're an instructor, and we are a mentor. So it's not just, we are not just giving knowledge. We can also, the students can also give knowledge. So we are not just giving knowledge. There are times we learn from our students. We learn from our students. Now this is like a chart for the blended learning model. We have the rotation model, we have the flex model, we have the self-blend model, we have the enriched virtual model. In this part of the country, and because we are just going into it, we are more of the rotation model. Under the rotation model, we have 4 different rotations. We have station rotation. You can decide to split your students into different groups and give them different work to do in a class. For example, based on the subject I teach, if I want them to look at a particular topic, I can split it out for them and say, okay, you take this part, you take this part, you use technology. I can give some set of students laptops to explore. And at the end of the whole thing, I was, okay, come and present. Show me what you have done. You know, it has moved from me teaching to them researching and delivering what they have. We also have lab rotation. We can move from different things, different laboratories, you know, doing different things separately. Then there's split learning. This I love very well. Split learning is when you give them a topic to read from home or to research on, and the first thing you do the next day is to give them a task on it. Ask them questions. You'll be surprised what the students will do. Even you yourself, what is in your plan? They will exhaust it for you. Just give them power to work. Give them opportunity to work. You'll be surprised what they will do. So this is blended learning. We are not really going to blended learning model, but just to open our eyes, we can research on it and see how it goes. What's the benefit of blended learning? One, learning approaches can make personalized learning a reality. It can develop technological soft skills. Most of our students love technology. Some of them take courses in technology. So it can develop their interest in this technology. Blended learning is flexible. You know, it's more of online. You can decide to change things. It's not rigid. It's not rigid. You can decide, let's do this today. Let's change plan. You know, you can decide. It's very flexible. It boosts engagement. That's the most important one to me. The students are engaged. They are not just sitting and locked in class. Students, they want healthy competition. This person is getting it. They too want to get it. I teach an all-girls secondary school. So if a particular girl is getting it and the other one is not getting it, girls can be very emotional. You see them crying. I want to get it. I want to get it. So it makes them engaged. Then learning keeps classroom connections alive. Everybody is ready to learn. They are eager to learn. Blended learning can bring parents on board. I've mentioned that before. Now we have a lot of presentation tools. These are just few of presentation tools you can use. to present your lesson. You create the content and you deliver it in class. You use quizzes, there's Kahoot, there's Nepod, there's Canvas, there's TED. All this, we engage the students well. For presentation, we also have Google Slides. You can use your Google Slides for presentation. There's Google Sites, Google Slides. All these can be used for presentation. We have a whole lot of presentation tools we can use in class. We also have engaging tools. This one, the students will work. They will press their laptop. They will press their phone. For example, Desmos. The first time I used Desmos in a class, I was I was really excited. It's a graphical app for graphs. For those of you that teach mathematics, sciences, we do graphs. Desmos will help with interactive graphs. Fine. They will not even give you the skill. You still have to think about the skill. It's still making them to learn, still making them to think. So it's not that some school of thought says this blended learning is making students to be lazy. I always say no. It's even making them to be more hardworking. So we have a lot of engaging tools we can use. And most of them are more of quiz, are more of fun. That when you give them, they are excited. They want to do it. They want to be the first. They want to compete heavily in class. And they won't be sleeping, or their brain will not be sleeping while sitting too long in class. So these are engaging tools to use. The efficacy of blended learning greatly depends on the specific implementation and the particular problem it is designed to solve. My subject is different from your subject. Even my approach is different from your approach. So you need to understand what topic you want to teach, what objective do you want to have, what do you desire, and that is how you pick the right app that you're going to use. We have different apps, but not all of them do the same thing. You have to think, okay, I want to do a matching game because I want to do words and opposites. Then think about apps that you can use to deliver that. Google is your friend. Just Google it. It will tell you everything you need. Okay, I want to do detection. Okay, this app can help me. I want to do spelling. This particular app can help me. I want to do calculations. What are the apps for construction? You look at the particular topic you want to deliver in your choosing field, and just ask questions. When we started this online class, the first topic I was supposed to teach online was organic chemistry. For those of you that know chemistry well, organic chemistry was very difficult for me to teach online. Now, this is my third year of teaching organic chemistry using laptop, using the internet. Easy pleasy for me. I don't even think about it because it has a lot of structures, and I will draw it using the laptop. I have apps that can do that. So we just have to explore and see the way forward. I always I'm always jealous of subjects. I won't say easier subjects, but subjects in junior school that is not so difficult for them. I always think that if only I can take those subjects, it will be very easy for me to use this blended learning in my class. But I understand it can be a little bit tough for subjects like mathematics, like chemistry, like physics, but we can still find our way around. I do tests, I do exams using computers in class without students sitting, and they will do it and get what they are looking for. So with advances in technology, there is no limit to the number of creative ways for designing effectual learning. Blended learning, because people are not single method learners. People have different ways they can learn, and that is why you must be creative. Thank you. Question time. Any question for me? You can unmute yourself to ask questions. It's not, are you there?
Well done, Mrs. Tanuka. Really enjoyed the class. Please, any questions? Please ask your question. If you have any questions, can we
Any
ask?
question? Okay, while we are trying to wait for them, can you repost the link? Not the one for the map, the other one. Can you repost it? While we are
Which
trying
one?
to wait
The first
for
one I posted.
questions.
The first one.
Can you repost?
Do you mean the first link?
The first one you did, the first one.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, the
Okay.
first link.
Let me
Can you
repost.
repost?
Yeah, I've done that now.
Okay.
I've
Okay,
done that
thank
now.
you. So people can work on this while we wait for questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask questions. Okay. Please feel free to ask questions.
Thank you very much for this eye-opening, ma. If I may
You're
ask,
welcome.
in a situation, well, are you hearing me, ma?
Please, can you type it? Please, can you type it? Can you type your question, please? I'm going to share the presentation with us so we can go through it later. I'm still waiting for questions.
Please ask your question. Okay, Mr. Tanuka, let me ask you a question. The blended learning, can
We are waiting for
a
questions.
part-time teacher use it?
Okay.
And can it be used in a high-populated school?
Can it work?
Okay, someone has sent a question.
I didn't get that. Can what use it? Please just type it. Let me hear very well. Please type your question. Adenike says, thanks so much for the help meeting teaching. Thank you. You're welcome. But also have a situation where the facilities, that's the problem. How can one see provide this blended learning technique? Yes. I understand this is a challenge, especially in public schools. But we can also try as much as possible to use printing work. For example, you can print like this link that I sent to you. This link of the map, the puzzle. You can print it and use it in class to engage your students. We have some work that are printable. Some ready-made sheets that are printable online that you can use to engage students. I understand that the facility is a major problem. I understand that because you really need those facilities to work. But in situation whereby you don't have the facilities, you can print and make photocopy and engage your students in class. I hope I'll be able to answer your question. Thank you, Adenike. Charity, you're welcome. I'm a preschool teacher. Can I use the blended learning method? Yes, you can. You can. Depending on the type of school you have. For example, do you use projectors in class? Do you use videos in class? If you do, you can. But if not, the same thing goes for you. Even if the one you use for them, for blended, for preschool teachers, you do this matching thing. You tell them, you give them pictures, you tell them to match it with names. All this can be used. All this can be created using apps. But if you cannot, those papers you can print and give it to them to use. It's can blended learning technique be used in highly populated schools? It can if they have the facility. It can if they have the facility, because there are some apps that take up to 100 students at a time. Like this particular link I sent to you, it has never told me that it's limited. It has never said that. So if I share it with everybody, it will continue to work. So depending on facilities, we need facilities to really do it. Thank you, Tunu. Thank you, Mighty Scholar Academy. My question is, how can I use the blended? I teach chemistry, and I've been using it at least since COVID-19. I've been using blended learning in class. I create my work, I create my content, and I deliver it. Mighty Scholar Academy. Presently, I'm teaching organic chemistry, and I'm using it to deliver my class. So let Google be your friend, and you can ask questions too later. You can ask me on how I've been going about it, Mighty Scholar. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Any other question? I think I'll be able to answer the question in the chat. I think I've answered all the questions in the chat. Any other question? Okay, I would like to end the video chat. We can continue chatting, and I will respond to your questions. Can I go ahead and close the video chat?
I can't hear you. I didn't hear what you said.
Can I go ahead and close the video chat?
Yeah. Can you end the video?
Can I go ahead and close the video chat?
Yeah.
Yes. Can I?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.